Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing this face for the very first time, hi, my name is Rutuja and I hope you guys are doing fantastic and are safe at home. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys my top 10 Netflix recommendations, which will include shows that are worth binge watching. So since we all are quarantining at home, I know we have a lot of free time to kill, and I know we keep on looking for new Netflix recommendations every now and then because I know at least I do that. So I just thought this video would help you guys to find a new Netflix show to binge watch because I have covered a lot of genres and I hope आपको आपके genre का एक new show मिल जाएगा through this video. So yeah, I have written all my top 10 favorite shows over here. So I'm just going to give you guys a gist of the show and I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers, so don't worry about it. So yeah, if you're interested to know my top 10 Netflix recommendations, keep on watching the video. So let's start with some fashion series recommendations because as you all know, I love fashion. So for my first recommendation, I have this show called as Next in Fashion. So basically this is a fashion competition and talented designers from all over the globe come under one roof to create new looks according to the fashion challenges. The show has 1 season and 10 episodes each. So the designers have to go through different fashion challenges and they have to create look according to the given challenge. So for example, say streetwear. So they have to create a look related to streetwear and that look obviously should stand out because they have to go home because elimination, right? So they also have a fabric closet in which the designers get all the raw materials that are needed to design and create the specific look. The fabric closet obviously keeps on changing every episode according to the different challenge and it is really a fun show to watch because obviously if you're a fashion lover, you love to see new looks, runway, drama, etc. So that show is everything fashion, and if you are a fashion lover, look no further, you should definitely watch it. For my second recommendation, I have this show called as Emily in Paris. Now I believe this was launched in 2020 if I'm not wrong. So yeah, this show also has 1 season and 10 episodes each. This show is based around the life of Emily, so that's why Emily in Paris. Now this girl works for an ad agency in America but gets her transfer in Paris, so she has to go to Paris, settle down, explore this new city and then get comfortable in the office. The series basically revolves around how she tackles her new obstacles, how she explores Paris, then how she becomes an influencer, how she handles new relationships, how she handles her job at the marketing agency. You see a lot of photo shoots happening, then marketing campaigns, then pitching to influencers, bringing them on board. So you know, everything is related to fashion and the new generation of social media influencing, etc. It's also very romantic at times, but it is definitely about this bold woman in this new city called Paris and how she creates her own spot in this new city with all her hard work and boldness. So talking more about boldness, the third series recommendation that I have for you guys is The Bold Type. This was launched in 2020 but I think it got more famous in 2021. I recently finished binge watching it obviously and it is a long one. So basically this series is about 3 best friends who work for a fashion magazine in Manhattan, New York, and basically the series revolves around how they juggle between their careers, romance, friendship, etc. And I feel it's a very empowering show because I personally learned a lot of things from that show. It really helped me to understand women empowerment better, to understand feminism better, and yeah, just because it's a very long show, I feel first 2 seasons are very nice but ending में that is the 3rd and 4th season वो थोड़ा सा slow होते जाता है, but starting में it's a very fast show and will definitely love this. It's obviously about 3 millennial girls, so expect a lot of drama in it. If there is one show that you should definitely watch is this show, I would say that. Now for my 4th recommendation, I have a K-drama recommendation and I think this is also a very famous one. So this show is called as Crash Landing on You and oh my god, it is such a beautiful and unique love story. So basically a South Korean girl comes and lands in North Korea. Now how she lands in North Korea, you have to watch that show for it, so it will be like a spoiler obviously. So she lands in North Korea and she falls in love with this North Korean army officer. Basically this show revolves around their love story and how they fight the obstacles that come along their way, because obviously a South Korean girl falling for a North Korean guy, you understand, right? So I feel it's a very unique love story and I loved watching it, and personally towards the end I had tears in my eyes. So the fifth show recommendation that I would love to give you guys is this show called as Vikings. Now it is totally based on history, so if you are a history lover you should definitely go and watch this. And इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा bloodshed वगैरह है, so if you're not someone who loves to watch that, skip this show I would say. So talking more about this show, so basically Vikings are people from Scandinavia who raided, traded, pirated and settled throughout the parts of Europe. So this series is basically based on a guy called as Ragnar Lothbrok, who is a Viking obviously. So he is the one who starts raiding and exploring and sailing to new lands. अभी recently उसका last season आया है. So yeah, you will definitely have tears in your eyes if you like end up watching the entire series. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you should definitely go and watch this series because you are definitely going to love this 100%. On to the sixth show recommendation. Now this is my favorite series and this is based on supernaturals. Now I'll give you 2 seconds to guess. So this series is called as the Vampire Diaries and the original. So basically ये दो different series है, but I want to club it together as my sixth recommendation because they are interrelated. So basically you have to watch the Vampire Diaries first and then you have to watch the originals. And as the name goes, it's based on vampires, witches, werewolves and you know all the supernatural creatures. It's a really amazing series. My personal favorite is obviously Damon Salvatore. If you have watched Vampire Diaries, you know the person that I'm talking about. I know a lot of girls have crush on him and I am one of them. If you start watching this series, you will end up watching 13 seasons, 8 seasons of Vampire Diaries and 5 seasons of the original. So if you are looking for a series to binge watch for a long period of time, I would say go for this series. It is going to kill your time and you are going to fall in love with supernatural beings and specifically vampire and specifically Damon Salvatore. Love it. The seventh recommendation that I have is related to sci-fi. It's a sci-fi show and this show is called as Stranger Things. Now it has 3 seasons and I think the 4th season will launch in 2021 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, but I feel it should come in this year. So if you haven't watched the previous 3 seasons, this is the time you should definitely go and watch this. Now as it is sci-fi, it is also related to thoda sa supernatural. So basically in our town there are a lot of secretive experiments happening to open this supernatural world, and during that experiment there is this guy who gets vanished in that supernatural world. That's the start of the show and you will see how his family, his friends tries to bring him back from the supernatural world and how there is this girl जिस पे पूरा experiment होता रहता है etc etc, and that girl also has supernatural powers. And if you're someone like me who is not into watching sci-fi, I think this specific series is going to change your point of view because you're definitely going to love the Stranger Things and you're going to wait for the 4th season. So for my 8th recommendation, I have a very popular and a very famous show which is called as Funny Heist. Now this is one of my favorite shows that I have watched by far. Now this show comes in 4 parts and I think the 5th part is going to go live soon this year if I'm not wrong, because I know it was in the making for a long time. So basically this is a Spanish show and it's full of thriller and suspense. There is this guy called as Professor. He is very intelligent, very smart, and he has this plan of lutofying this big royal mint of Spain. So for that he recruits 8 criminals to do his job, and he's the one who guides those 8 criminals with everything. And this guy Professor, he's always one step ahead of the police. So it's a very like thriller show to watch. I won't talk more about the show. If you're into suspense thriller, you should definitely watch this because this is going to be your show. So the 9th recommendation that I have for you guys is a show called as The Final Table. Now this show is related to food. So basically in this show, chefs from all over the world come under one roof to compete with each other to get their spot on the final table next to the world's top 9 legendary chefs. I know, right? So yeah, if you're into watching MasterChef India, MasterChef Australia, this is the show you need to watch because you're definitely going to love this show. This show has 10 episodes each, and in every new episode they travel to a new country virtually, and every chef has to make a dish, a special dish which is related to that country. So for example, say India. So when they're traveling to India, the chefs have to make, say, butter chicken, etc., etc. So yeah, that's about the challenges that the chefs have to go through in order to make their spot on the final table. So for my last recommendation, I have my favorite show. Now this is a very old show. I've written a showstopper iske baaju mein, okay? That's the amount of love I have for this show. So drum rolls. So for my last recommendation, I have this show called as Friends. I don't think the show needs any description because guys, it's Friends. It's a very famous show. Now personally, 3 years back, I was this person who used to think this show is a very hype show and fukat ka hype hai iska ye wo. Now I would admit ki this is a slow show starting mein, but once you get the hook of it, you are going to fall in love with this show. I bet you're definitely going to keep on going back to that show because that's exactly what happened to me. So talking more about this show, this was a sitcom and this is a show which has 10 seasons and वो भी कम पड़ जाता है and अभी उसका reunion भी आ रहा है. Basically this show revolves around the lives of 6 people who live in Manhattan and who almost एक साथ ही रहते हैं वो लोग, ऐसा ही पकड़ लो. And they chill in this coffee house in Central Park and what not. It's a very crazy show and it's a very hilarious one and it's the most practical show because it's definitely related to practical life situations and you know how they tackle it and how they stay together as one unit, how they have got each other's back. This show is definitely friendship goals, I would like to say. Even if I start a new show, I'll keep on watching random episodes from Friends. That's the amount of love that I have for that show. And I feel once you start watching Friends, once you complete it, you're definitely going to rewatch it again and again. And it's definitely like a stress buster for me because it's a very funny show and I just love it. Now I don't want to talk more about it because I can talk for the entire night. So yeah guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Those were my top 10 Netflix recommendations. I know few of them are very old, few of them are very new. You might have watched it, you might have not watched it, but I had to keep the older ones also in my list because they are my personal favorites and I know बहुत सारे लोगों ने देखा भी नहीं होगा. So I hope this video reaches the right person and I hope this video helps you guys to stay sane in this pandemic. Let me know which was your favorite show that you have binge watched in this pandemic, and if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video on YouTube. And also let me know if you would like to see a part 2 of my Netflix recommendations, which will only include Bollywood because I am a Bollywood lover. So I have a lot of recommendations. So yeah, that's on you. Let me know in the comments box below. And please take care of yourself. Please take care of your loved ones. We are going through a tough time, but this too shall pass. And that's about it. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, live and let live. Take care. Bye bye.